Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I tell you what, I saw. I meant to say something about that the other night. Trump did a truth, and he put in there about the migrants. They're coming from here. They're coming from there. They're coming from Venezuela. They're coming from, and then he put parts unknown. I said, I didn't know I'm sending anybody across the border. They'd be going the wrong way if I sent them. But anyway, I don't think you got that off me. Susie D, how are you doing? Bubba, how you doing? I got two thumbs up from Bubba. If y'all think about it, go ahead and podge that thumbs up button because you know you got to like this broadcast. It helps. That thumbs up helps it gets around. And like I said, don't keep me all to yourselves. Ha ha. SM, how you doing? Kicking Bird, Karen. I just noticed I was going through a list. I'll tell you what I noticed here in a little bit. Let's just see who all's getting in. B Dogs here. Hi, Nikki. Quilt. Henri. Haha, I got the thumbs up. Lone Wolf. How you, Mike? 1176. Uh, this is by the reason they're having a strike. How you like my thumbnail? That woman standing there with her arms folded. She's saying he better not sniff me. And the guy standing there looking at her, you better not call me a boy. So, and then that stuck my little Punisher head in the crowd too, keeping an eye on him too. Everybody's puked out with him down there. I couldn't find any articles about, except that he was stumbling up the short steps, kind of like being on the short bus. Wait a second, let me see about this microphone.
Better. I hope that's better. Anyway, it's kind of like him having to ride short bus, going up on little short steps so he doesn't fall down. He still can barely do that. Hi, Sharon. How are you? Sandy, how are you doing? Linda. Hi, Cliff. How are you doing? Karen. Let's see. Biden took 52 seconds and all. Yeah. Yeah, we all paid for him to be there and look like a dope. So anyway, that picture is worth 1,000 words. Mount, how you doing, Pappy Two Bears? Mount, how you doing? Blessings to everyone from Pappy Two Bears. Hi, Christina. Hi, Donna. Marla. Ha ha ha. If I missed anybody, I don't think I did. So, man, I tell you, this judge focusing on the Letitia James case, like Trump was saying, he didn't even get a jury. And this judge ruled against him. And I'll go over some stuff there because Trump retruths some truths from Eric Trump. You know, it's very interesting. And like I say, you got to look at stuff and read into it. They're talking about his valuations of his properties, and Trump mentioned, they don't even factor in the brand name. Trump is a brand name. And yeah, that's worth a lot of money, the brand. Be Charming, how you doing? Ha ha ha, Sissy K said, ha 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 ha. So, hi, Phil. How you doing? Yeah, well, the same thing happened to AJ. Well, AJ supposedly got in trouble for libel and stuff like that. This is where they're saying Trump. This is a civil case where they're saying Trump broke the laws of the state of New York by misrepresenting the values of his property and all this kind of BS. And one thing is really sticking out like a sore thumb. And I tell you, these judges have got to be addressed. Trump went ahead and said it. I was talking about his speech last week in Iowa, where he said, I said, I didn't want to repeat it because I wasn't sure. I wanted to go back and listen to it. 9:48 in his speech. It said on the clock, 9 p.m., 9:48 p.m. He said the mainstream media's got to pay. And sure enough, he outlined it. I was talking about it last night. Not before last. He outlined it very clearly. They've got to pay. And that can be more than one way. So anyway, I think he's going to be talking about these judges too. He's laying out Agenda 47, covering a lot of things. And like I said, it's not promises. It is a schedule. It's an agenda that things are going to get checked off. And I was going to put my thumbnail earlier today. I was going to put in there that as we speak, we got to know this. There are charges being prepared, indictments being prepared. There's I believe, already sentencing recommendations being made, both military and civilian. Okay, that's being done right now, and a lot of people are being evaluated. Even though they think they've got the upper hand, they most certainly don't, because the first words in my thumbnail are "go unpunished." Go unpunished, question mark. I just plugged up my charger, and if you heard a little noise, I got plenty of battery power, but I don't want to risk. And I'll pull that. Let me see if I can pull that up. And I'll read the exact verbiage. Oh my goodness, it's a lot of stuff I was researching on the boards, and a lot of blasts from the past. I mean, stuff 5 years old. Hi, Chris, how are you? Ingrid, how are you doing? Oh, come on, chats. Hi, Em. Outlandish Patriots, how you doing? Hi, Mary. Out till October 6th. Well, make sure your cell phone works for that broadcast we're all expecting. And this one's been formally announced, so it's not just people making predictions. It is something they know is going to happen. You know, I mentioned my last broadcast, I said, for kicks, I said, just type in the word knowingly, right? Knowingly into the 17th letter there. And do some recreational reading about the word, just the word knowingly. And I think it was 41 posts, I think, that came up with knowingly. And I was going over them. And one, let me see if I've got the number of that one. Very interesting, 4375. MSDNC, brackets knowingly using fake footage. MSDEN, pushing, brackets, America on fire narrative. Why? Enemy of the people. And it shows a photograph of a city, and it shows all these fires, and it says breaking news. Protests across the U.S. Hit the streets, and underneath that they have another photo that is almost identical, the same skyline, the same city. And what does it say underneath it? World War Z official trailer. It's footage from a movie called World War Z. And they used it in their news report saying America was on fire. And that's the kind of stuff that can be addressed criminally, knowingly using fake footage. You can check it out yourself. 4375. All I did was put in the word knowingly, and I came up with that. So, we put that in with when they put footage from a shooting range in Kentucky and claimed it was the Kurds being attacked, trying to get Trump to do something militarily when he was trying to pull all the troops out. I mean, stuff like that harms the country. Hi, Roberto. How you doing? Yeah, so let's say it is good to see good old Bubba. Hope you're coming along, Bubba, making progress. Yeah, he did stumble a little bit, Mary. He did stumble a little bit. And they said that's their new secret mission, is to keep him from falling on his face. And the other thing I put in the thumbnail was Last Stand. Last Stand. And that knowingly, it's what I said the other day, Last Stand is what I put in my thumbnail today, and go unpunished. Did they think that this stuff would go unpunished? And you'll be able to read a very interesting post concerning that. I'm trying to see if I took a screenshot of that. Because it's not going to go unpunished. It will be punished. And let's see. Well, I may not have got a screenshot of that. I got a couple of last stands. So anyway, I wonder if I could go into that and not drop out of the stream. You guys want to stick with me while I do an experiment? And I'm at 12:27. You guys stick with me. I'm going to do an experiment. See if you all can hear me while I try to pull some. I'm going to leave the studio. Nick, you think that's a good idea? Leave the studio and try to find something? But if I drop off, I can come right back in, right, guys? Anyway, I can get to that tomorrow. Anyway, I will discuss the Last Stand. You'll see that. I think there's 4 posts that discuss the Last Stand. But the one that is about 4 years old is pretty telling. Let's see, somebody's giving me some advice. Hi, Damon. Some people are saying turn the phone off. Well, they're doing a EBS test, and it's been I say leave it on. Make sure it works, because the bottom line is I know who's got ultimate control. I know who's got ultimate control. It's Space Force and the Commander-in-Chief. And they're not, if they were going to do something over the phone October 4th that was going to be harmful to us, excuse me while I get a sip of my coffee. I know Mr. T would have let us know. So I say leave it on. Why would you leave it off? I'm wondering what their reasoning is. I'm just wondering what the reasoning is. Why would you want to turn? Why would they want you to turn your phone off, Damon? Because if there's an emergency, you want to make sure that your phone is going to receive it. When Trump did a presidential alert system, that came over my phone. But when was that? 4 years ago? And I've already been through at least 2 phones since then. That's right, outlandish. I don't know where they get that. I had my notes about talk, and then I just didn't want to get into it. I didn't want to get people upset or whatever. Uh, some people on the internet, they look more to agitate than educate. MS Motorsport says, keep phones on, right? But you got to watch out for these creators that want to agitate instead of educate. I mean, I could come up with all kinds of stuff to talk about and get people's minds in dark places. I address things and move on. I stick with reality so we know what's going on. Hey, we're the ones in control. And sure, it's not going perfect. Nothing ever does. It's like I was talking on a phone with a friend of mine. Hi, Dory. How are you? You sit on your porch and look out. You see all the trees. I see mountains. I see little roofs of houses dotted on the mountains way away from me. On such a beautiful day, I mean, beautiful, sit outside, you feel good. Within the field of my vision and the distance of my vision, there are little tragedies happen all the time in nature, behind the doors of those houses far away. Somebody's arguing, somebody driving by here on the road, got their wallet stolen or lost a family member. There are going to be struggles and battles in life. Even under my porch, there's, God knows what's going on in the animal kingdom and insect kingdom of suffering and things, that if I stared at it and thought about it all day, I'd be, oh my gosh, it's horrible. But no, you have to look at it a different way, and that's the way it is with this battle that we're in now. That makes me want to read this post even more. One of the ones that say has last stand in it. Okay. It starts off with the brackets, and inside the brackets in capital letters, it says internal civil war. Well, a lot of people, some creators, not all, will be talking about civil war, get a weapon and do this. No, internal civil war means more of a bureaucratic battle, more of administrative inside government war, okay? But it is a civil war nonetheless. Then it goes on to say, all-out assault against the duly elected president of the United States. We have never experienced anything like this in our history. Treason and sedition at the highest levels of office throughout many departments. F plus D in brackets. What does F plus D mean? Foreign and domestic. Okay. A propaganda arm, brackets, capital letters, fake news media. So fake news media is the propaganda arm of the Democratic Party in full attack mode. No facts, only statements. Propaganda arm, fake news media of the Democratic Party limit sheep, brackets, you, from learning the truth. Namely, the fake news media considers us sheep. Okay, we know we're not sheep. But some people that were being treated like sheep are coming around, all right? And they're going to find out they've been treated that way. So it goes on to say, propaganda arm, fake news media of the Tea Party retain control of narrative, control over you. Keep in mind, this post is 4.5 years old. House D's Democrats in full attack mode. No facts, only statements. Senate D's in full attack mode. No facts, only statements. This is their last stand. I think there's only 4 posts that have the words last stand in it. This is one I picked out. Fear of prosecution, fear of public learning the truth, fear of losing power, bribes, blackmail, threats, etc., all being deployed. Then the last sentence in capital letters are, we are at war. So there you have it, folks. It describes exactly what's been going on. Yep, that's right. Been on target since day one, Bubba says. Oh, that'd be great if it was the fall of Babylon. Yeah, Melvita, he's singing the right song. So anyway, I'm just cruising through the chats real quick. So that's interesting, and those are the keywords I put in the title. If you want to have some fun looking at posts, that's one to look at. And that one I'm looking for gave me a video of an Obama interview. I'm going to get a clip out of that and show it to you all, where before Trump even got to be, after the election, during the transition, Obama was given interviews and he was pushing that knowingly false narratives, and it's in the public record, and we're going to get closer and closer to him. Oh, here's a good one about Schiff. But anyway, so I was hoping for some word from his visit down there at United Auto Workers, but that thing was probably so tightly controlled. If anything happened, we probably didn't have any independent media. Hi, Araceli. Hi, Annette. We didn't have any independent media really give us anything to report on. Trump says MSNBC and NBC News will be investigated for country-threatening treason if he is reelected. That was from the Gateway Pundit. And it ain't no if about it. Trump didn't say if, he said when. So that's what we were talking about the last broadcast. Those were words that I highlighted, and that is what's being reported. Country-threatening treason. So this ruling by this so-called judge against Trump in this civil matter, he wrote in his opinion, and I'll make sure I get this right. Take a wild guess. If you already know, don't put it in the chats, but people that don't know and have not heard, Take a wild guess what the judge said the Mar-a-Lago property is worth. In his opinion, where he found the Trump organization guilty and is going to be assessing these huge fines for breaking New York City laws, finance laws. What do you think the judge said Mar-a-Lago is worth? Just as its value as a historic destination went through the roof when they raided it. Ha ha ha. But take a guess. I'll see what kind of guesses come up around there. And then I'll tell you what Eric Trump put up. Outlander said 17 million. Marla said 100 million. This is what the judge put it at. The judge is trying to trip up Trump. SM said 258 million. Judy said 100 million. Mike said priceless. It's going to end up that way. It's probably going to end up a national monument when this is all over with. Sissy K said 4 million. Let me pull this up. Let's see. Eric Trump said, in an attempt to destroy my father, a judge in New York just ruled that Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach is worth approximately, quote, drum roll, $18 million. Henri said $2 billion. It's probably what it's worth, but this is what the greasy liberal judge is claiming it's worth, because they're trying to say Trump overstated his wealth. Mar-a-Lago is Eric Trump said Mar-a-Lago is speculated to be worth over $1 billion, making it arguably the most valuable residential property in the country. This is all so coordinated and corrupt. So then he put some real estate comparables up. And let me tell you, I've dealt in real estate and I've done market valuations on properties. I've dealt with appraisers. I've owned a lot of big properties. He's doing exactly what you should do when you're trying to arrive at a valuation. He put up these $59,950,000, 6 beds, 11 baths, 10,000 square feet. $40 million, 6 bedrooms, 7 baths, 6,400 square feet. Okay, and on it goes in right at the $40 million mark. These are properties that are not 1/10 of the size of Mar-a-Lago. And Mar-a-Lago's not only got oceanfront, it has intercoastal waterway frontage behind it. And these houses don't even have that. And the judge is saying, in his opinion today, it was worth $18 million. And Eric Trump put up One, two, three, four, five comparables in a row. He probably could have put up, I don't know how many more, 39 million to 59 million properties that weren't a tenth the size of Mar-a-Lago. So this judge is obviously biased. We can't have people like this in the judiciary. We can't have people in journalism that are behaving the way they're behaving. We can't have judges like this. We can't have attorneys and prosecutors like this. And it's not it cannot be an I'm sorry. Hi, I'm McCarthy. How are you doing? Work more in Pennsylvania Avenue? Yeah, especially if you consider the resident. Hi, Wanda. Oh yeah, Mar-a-Lago's got way more historical significance. These properties I'm looking at that Eric put up, I don't recognize any value. Elon Musk. He is baiting them. He's baiting them. He's planning on going down to Eagle Pass. I guess he's going to evaluate and report on the mic. He wants to witness firsthand what's going on in Eagle Pass, Texas. Boy, he's like they're not after him as enough as it is. But anyway, I got this from Diamond Silk. Will we ever see an end to the growing number of corrupt judges coming after, capital letters, the real president, Donald J. Trump? And then the article says, whoops. Oh, I jumped out of my studio there for a minute. The article says, judge rules against Trump, claims he committed fraud while building real estate empire. On Tuesday, Judge Arthur Engoron, it sounds a lot like moron, made a ruling in Attorney General Letitia James's case against former President Donald J. Trump. So it's ridiculous. Take the post office property he had on Pennsylvania Avenue. If Trump hadn't come along, that would still be a derelict building. But he made it world class, and they were berating it and minimizing the value of that property. They didn't even realize he sold it, and he sold it for millions more than these morons were saying it was worth. He said, "Oh, really? Well, here's what I got for it. You dopes." CJ 1975, how you doing? Well, it's a balloon that's going to pop. I see what you're saying there, Nikki. $200,000 for a place to hang your hat, and then you think about the property taxes. All these counties and localities have got themselves addicted to multi-million dollar year income off of real estate. And if there was a study, if in the past 10 to 15 years, how much these local budgets have gone through the roof because they're abusing real estate taxes, people can't keep up with it. But these bureaucrats are like crack addicts, man. They got to have it, and they got to have money, and it's going to pop. It's going to blow. And I think that's what we're being prepped for. In Trump's speeches last month, he said gas was going to go through the roof. People are not feeling it yet. So we're going to feel some pain, but those of us who know what's happening, know what the end goal is, and has prepared, put away some extra food, got some way to charge your batteries, some little alternate way to heat your house if something happens in the winter, a spare water. Hi, Robin. How are you? Robin's canning all her stuff. I hope you're almost finished with that, Robin. I got a friend of mine. He brought me, I guess this has got to be the last of the tomatoes. He brought me some tomatoes as big as a softball. Oh, man, they're good. But I think that's about it for this year. I got a lot of peppers, cucumbers, squash, zucchini. But it's all coming to an end. You got to learn how to can, like Robin does. So anyway, yeah, we got to get ready for that. Got to get ready. Go ahead and fill your gas tanks up while it's relatively low gas. I know it's high now, but relative to what's coming, it's low. Yeah, can your greens. Green beans, corn, all that stuff. Hi, Michael. How you doing? Trying to see who snuck in while I was pontificating. Yeah, zucchini bread. I love that. I'm too lazy to make it though. But I have people bring me zucchini bread sometimes. I put butter on that. Boy, that's good. And Trump retruthed. He retruthed some guy named Doug Mills. Got a photo because I was thinking when I was talking about Trump buying that gun that they would dream up some way to charge him, saying he was a felon in waiting, or you can't own a gun if you tried to insurrect against the government or something stupid like that. But then I thought to myself, I didn't see Trump actually handling the gun. So maybe, I'm overreacting, but this guy posts, real Donald Trump looks over a Glock handgun during a visit to the Palmetto State Armory in Summerville, South Carolina, and shows him holding it and looking at it. And they've got on the side of the pistol on the rack, it says the number 45. So yeah, he's handling it. What do I think is going to happen on October 4th? Well, they're going to have someone come over the phone, bam, bam, bam. This is a test. This is a test of the emergency broadcast system. Blah, blah, blah. In case of emergency, you would be directed, depending on the region you live, where to go and what to do, blah, blah, blah. I think that's what's going to happen. That's right, Nikki. I like banana nut bread with butter, too. I might have to get me another bread maker. I told you all that story about when I got an automatic bread maker for my mother. I said, "Here, Mom, you're going to like this." And she went, she looked at it and turned the box left, turned it right, and then looked at me and said, "What the hell you think they make an oven for?" She never took it out of the box. And so I said, well, I'll get her something else. Now I'll use the bread maker. So I started making Italian bread. I started making banana bread, all the kinds of stuff. They had a booklet, and then I lost interest in it. I think I gave it to somebody because I didn't have time to be baking bread, but I went on a little bread kick. That was, I don't know how many years ago that was. I think that was, my gosh, I can't believe I'm saying it, before the turn of the century. So maybe it's Time to get another one. Gas six, how much? Six something? That is terrible. It's going to go up to that. I could be wrong. It could go up to $10. $6.75 cheap gas in California. Diane says. Well, you'll be seeing $10 soon. Whoa. A new cell phone will be introduced. Well, I see where they're making them now like the old way, where you can take your battery out and put a new battery in. I guess that's a problem because they integrated the battery into the phone. It's glued in there, and you can't pop your phone open to replace the battery. I heard they're changing that. Hi, Kush. How are you doing? Hi, Jerry. How you doing? Only corn. Okay. I used to put butter. I was like Homer Simpson. Butter. I put butter on anything. Now it's peanut butter. Hi, Annette. Your grand. What's it? Both had organic farms before it was a thing. That's right. Oh, yeah. People can meat. Ian. You can look that up on the tube. Hamburger, the canned chicken. Well, Cheryl, they go straight to impeachment. They're not going to be. The Democrats would love for them to go straight for impeachment, for us to take care of their problem for them. But an impeachment inquiry, certain agencies will be compelled to hand over information. I say drag that inquiry out. And the government shutdown is looming. Remember, there were at least three things that we were told. Devin Nunes said about, 20 days ago. He said 60-day countdown before Biden's gone. And I thought, well, ain't that bold? Then Trump said, pretty much said, mark my words, but he said, I believe China is going to disclose something about Biden that he won't, his presidency, his administration will not be able to survive. And I said, oh, that's another one, right? And we all know about Greg Jarrett. Was it Greg Jarrett who said there's going to be some kind of tape, video, audio, or both, he heard was going to come out before Halloween, that he said used pretty much the same terminology, that the Biden administration will not be able to survive. He may be able to maintain his current presidency, but he'll not be able to run again. The results of what he heard was going to be coming out about Biden. So that's three things right there. From Devin Nunes, who I trust, Greg Jarrett, who I trust, and of course, Mr. T, who I trust. So what did Kevin McCarthy post? Let me see if I can find that. Kevin McCarthy put out, well, Citizen Free Press also put it out, that, here we go. Speaker Kevin McCarthy, he's got a UTizzle channel. I went ahead and subscribed. I know a lot of people got problems with him, but hey, he's a player, and he's met with Trump multiple times in private at Mar-a-Lago. So anyway, McCarthy put this out. Breaking: money from China was wired to an account listing Joe Biden's Delaware home as the beneficiary address. Now, I need to get this clear in my head. Is that the same Delaware home that there was a Corvette in a garage along with some boxes? I don't know. I have to ask about that. But anyway, House Republicans uncovered $260,000 in wires to Hunter Biden from 2019 while Joe was running for president. Our impeachment inquiry will uncover the whole truth. Impeachment inquiry, that's different than an impeachment. Another thing that happens with an impeachment is that the Senate can conduct no other business till the matter is resolved. You got to go forward with only the evidence you have. But every day they're coming up with more stuff that if it was Trump, they would definitely be calling it a bombshell. But as we can see, the crooked media doesn't even bat an eye if they even report on it at all. Hi, Karen. Well, I hope everything's all right. Let's see. Your daughter? Okay, I see. Yeah, you're going to go on Diamond's chat too. That's good. Hopefully that will change, Karen. Hi, Gary. How you doing? Been working late on the road. Well, be careful. Be careful about typing in stuff. We're all with you, brother. Be safe. So anyway, if we go straight to an impeachment, we're just throw our hands up with further investigations. Plus, something's got to happen, or there's going to be a government shutdown. But hey, I know what Mr. T said. Go ahead and let it shut down. And remember, he was president during the longest shutdown in government history, and everything was fine then. But remember the shutdown that Obama had when he closed down open air memorials and 80 and 90-year-old veterans could not even walk down the sidewalk to see the brand new World War II memorial that they waited their entire lives to have put up. It's a disgrace that there wasn't a World War II memorial until the Obama administration, and then they had a government shutdown, and they paid federal employees to go out there and tell veterans in wheelchairs they could not take their wheelchair down the sidewalk to go look at it. Remember that, folks? And that's one of the things that I said, that I thought Trump, when he told Michelle and Barack Obama, "I'll never forgive you for what you did to our military." He said it twice. And I think that's one of the things, was when they canceled, and that's when France showed their true colors. In solidarity with the Obama administration, they wouldn't let veterans go down to the beaches to honor the people that lost their lives during the D-Day invasion. Just a disgrace. And never forget it. I'm never going to forget it. And I know many of you are not. Debbie said she remembers that. So then we hear about this Menendez stuff, after Trump put out that Democrats should resign. That's what he put out yesterday, that Democrats should resign, because all the Democrat senators, because they all knew about Menendez's little stunts. And even though it's a lot of gold and a lot of cash, he's a piker, all right? He's nothing. He's a chintzy little player in the game. That's what a piker is. And all of them do it. Well, it came out today that before the midterms, the raid took place on his property. Where did that go? I think it was 15 months ago. Let me see if I can pull that up. Yeah, I think it was 15 months ago. They raided his house. Everybody knew about it. Nobody said anything. You want to talk about election interference? That I won't talk about it too much, but like I said, they brought up a $10,000 remodeling job on Senator Ted Smith's home in Alaska when Obama won his first term, and they convicted him after they withheld evidence, and the conviction got overturned after the election. But no, with Menendez, no house remodeling thing you're innocent of. He's doing outright bribes, gold for influence. And I think one of his truths Trump put out is another warning to all of them, really. But this was Stuart Varney in person. He said, "Did Stuart Varney of Fox Business, who is hosting the upcoming, quote, job application, ever apologize for probably purposely mixing up my poll numbers with Ron DeSanctimonious?" This happened a little while back, making it look like he was winning when in fact he was being, capital letters, crushed. Varney took a lot of heat, but I still haven't heard the word sorry. MAGA knew anyway they didn't have to look at a fake Fox post. So he's calling Stuart Varney out for not apologizing. And I like Stuart Varney, but Trump said something one time. He said, when I do something to somebody, it's not just to give that person a message, namely when he's punishing people. He said, I'm not doing it just to send a message to who I'm doing things to. He said it's for the people that are watching, so they learn a lesson too. So Stuart Varney, if he's smart, he'll come out and do an apology. He can do it very quickly. But if he doesn't, I'm afraid he's going to be the one. He's going to be the one that's going to be the example. Oh, I got a message. Where? Oh, all right. Been all week. Karen, thank you for going to buy me a coffee and helping me out. This is a viewer-supported and creator-supported channel. And Karen, stop by I don't have any special effects on this app, but I'll say boom, pow, bang. Put a couple of booms in there for me in the chats. We'll settle for that special effects. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate it. And I appreciate everybody that's donated in the past. I might as well put my all-time hits up on the screen. And I appreciate everybody that's helped out. But I don't want to get kicked off the studio. I keep going out into my pictures. Wait a minute, come back to the chats or comments. Let me see. My voice didn't drop off, did it? There's 3 booms from Nikki. Thank you, Nikki. Sometimes if my voice goes away, it's because I get timed out when I'm trying to look at stuff or pull stuff up. So anyway, it's a little inside ball. So, yeah, Stuart Varney, go ahead and make your apology, for crying out loud. You're a nice guy. Don't be an example. But, yeah, while I was on Bumble Exile, Tennessee, Miss Mindersue, Lone Wolf, and Gary, they helped me out. Aaron, and I spelled Kristen's name wrong. I can't believe that. I put all this time, I didn't even realize it. It's K-R-I. Kirsten. Sorry about that, Kirsten. I'll straighten it out. When I was a kid, I used to have to wear a patch. Because I did have, I sometimes I joke around and say, oh, it's my crooked eye. I had a crooked eye when I was a kid. They called it a lazy eye, but my brothers made fun of me. But anyway. Yeah, I haven't seen Camperman, Cheryl. He might have been a couple of days. Thank you. Christopher said, hit thumbs up. I appreciate that. So we're all, this FBI, did you hear this business about this FBI agent that got charged? Here it is. A reminder, Donald Trump reposted this on Truth Social from a guy named God Country. Donald Trump put it up. FBI agent who investigated the Donald Trump Russia collusion hoax has been arrested for colluding with Russia. So he was in, well, we'll have to see how that pans out. But there's so many different issues that Trump's bounces back and forth from. He puts up these polls, and they're all positive, and they're all making Biden look terrible. And it's going to hope we got to keep pushing. Hopefully, it's going to get worse and worse for all of them. How you doing, Doc? And but he covers so many different subjects. I got a picture here of Saul Alinsky with Barack Obama. I'm gonna have to. It's a black and white picture. Some of you don't know, Saul Alinsky is a famous communist Marxist, and he wrote a book called Rules for Radicals that discuss how you slander and berate your opponent, and how you also use the media. So anyway, I'm gonna put that in a thumbnail one time. But Trump retruths so many things. And Dan Scavino, he put up a lot of people are saying dog comms. He put one up as a wolf, and a lot of people put that up, considered that to be having to do with George Bush Sr., timber wolf. So a lot of people were thinking, well, does he mean timber? Some people saying, well, wolf is a hybrid dog. Is it dog comms? And then they talk about Jimmy Carter. But I got a clip I didn't get to play. It's a real short clip of Jimmy Carter. He went to the Peanut Festival in his hometown there in Georgia. And he's still in hospice. and I think it's been since February, right? And his grandson gave an interview, and I want to make sure I'm going from memory, but I think he said in the interview that it was his last. I don't want to say if he didn't say last stand, he said something real close to it. I'll play it next time I do a picture show. Made my eyebrows go up, but we know he's elderly. We know he's been in the hospice. He went to the peanut parade with Rosalind, and Rosalind got diagnosed a while back with Alzheimer's. But you could see him sitting in there. But we'll have to see how that goes with what Scavino's putting out. You never know, and I don't want to read too much into it, and I don't want to wish anything bad on him. But nobody got off this world alive. And then Mr. T put out a post about Nancy Pelosi. And it's a great one to put out, especially with this stuff going on with Bob Menendez. Remember, Bob Menendez ducked the bullet with messing around with kids, right? But now they got him on this corruption. Nancy Pelosi admitted net worth $26.4 million. Center for Responsive Politics reported net worth at $58,436,000 in 2009. 2009, well, that was 10 years ago, or 13 years, or 14 years ago. CRP reported net worth $101 million in 2014. She owns up to 7 properties worth $16.5 million, owns a $5 million vineyard, and her yearly salary is $193,400. Let's see her tax returns. She makes $190 thousand, and she's worth, I heard the most recent one was over $120 million. So I just worry about information overload. I mean, people kind of freeze up and zone out. But with stuff like this corruption thing, Elizabeth Warren is somebody that's being put in the spotlight. I'll just tell you this real quick. Why is Elizabeth Warren, who's worth $3 million when she entered the Senate, worth $72 million now? Why has Nancy Pelosi quintupled, sextupled, and who knows what her net worth while serving in Congress is a scam, and it's all about to come crashing down. So anyway, folks, I see I've gone over my my hour. If you all don't mind, I'm going to keep going a little bit more because I started early. That's right, Diane. It was underage girls. That's right. I didn't want to. I also heard he was. I don't get into too much, but he wasn't doing right by them children. I'll put it that way. So yeah, I don't want to have information overload, but still. DC Drano said, I watched a J6 documentary last night and something stuck out to me. Almost every MAGA event in DC during Trump's tenure would be intercepted by violent hordes of Antifa. Do you remember how they destroyed DC during Trump's inauguration? Well, we have millions of hours of footage of J6, and not one clip shows a mass demonstration of anti-fizzle in Black Bloc that day. Do people really think they took a day off? No. They were at J6, and it's very easy to spot them. They dressed like MAGA but wore masks. True patriots didn't wear masks. But when you rewatch J6 footage, you see hundreds of face masked violent agitators on the front lines. And the thing is, if Antifa is decentralized, leftist foot soldier gang with no leadership, then how were they able how were they all on the same page that day with the same plan? I believe we will one day expose how the deep state coordinated their actions through proxies. Antifizzle was in on the Fedsurrection. Well, one of the posts that I was looking at today talked about an app called Signal. And I remembered from, now literally years ago, that Space Force knew all about Signal, and it was not as secure as they think. But that is what they were on, especially when they were coordinating the California wildfires. So I'm just wondering how we're going to get this stuff through where people's minds just don't pop, you know? About this way they got a hold of each other. Somebody post number 1888 talking about Gmail accounts. Somebody put a question up. Gmail drafts have them terrified, 17th letter team. You sent shockwaves through the netherworld. And the 17th letter responded and said, did they ask Combetta for advice? These people are stupid. Do you remember the name Combetta? Well, they put a link to an article that says Paul Combetta, computer specialist who deleted Hillary Clinton emails, may have asked Reddit for tips. And the link's there. You can pull it up and read it yourself. And then they went on to say, Oprah show, you get to go to jail. 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 You all get to go to jail. Signed, 17th letter. How you doing, Tennessee? That's right, Debbie. Giving out phones like candy, bags of popcorn, really. Tracking people. But remember that story I did one night where I showed the 17th letter, showed a photograph of pallets of phones that Hillary got from the New Zealand government. And she was told by the intelligence community in New Zealand that they were safe phones. And she got a whole pallet full of them to hand out to her flunkies. But they really have been infiltrated or can be monitored by the White Hats. Not a lot of people know that. But if you remember that that broadcast I did some time ago. Just looking around, see what everybody's talking about in the chats. But I have got to go through that one. That says go unpunished. I just don't want to leave the studio because I'm afraid my broadcast will drop up. But I pulled up another one from using the word knowingly. And this is about Shifty Schiff, Adam Shifty Schiff. Remember this important fact. Adam Schiff is part of the, quote, Gang of Eight intel. It will become critical once Gang of Eight material is declassified. That's some of the stuff they want, why they raided Mar-a-Lago. It will become, logical question. If Adam Schiff knew everything he's investigating and stating publicly to be knowingly false, brackets disinformation, why then would he take the course of actions ongoing? This was during the impeachment, okay? Did Adam Schiff purposely deceive the American public, quote, thinking the Gang of Eight material plus other classified documentation would never reach the public domain? What insurance policy did they hang over POTUS's head in order to prevent action? A father's love for his children knows no bounds. And the reason I'm bringing this up tonight is because Trump mentioned, and he doesn't mention it at every rally, but he's mentioned it at maybe 2 rallies. My son, can you imagine? They told me my son was going to jail. So he is hearkening back now to this post that I just read you. That's probably 4 years old, where Adam Schiff was sending Donald Jr. to jail. That was March 14, 2019. So it's 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah. 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah, it's over 4 years old. So anyway, with Trump bringing that up now, while I was going through the knowingly posts, all the posts that had the word knowingly, I said, oh, there he's bringing up Adam Schiff and when they threatened Don Jr. So sometimes when you pick a keyword and go through it, now when I saw that, you go to jail, you go to jail, you go to jail, I said to myself, what was that app they were using? Not just Gmail accounts. I said, oh, Signal. I remember Signal. So I typed in the word Signal, right? And this is what I got. Signal since day one. This is a person posting on the board that the 17th letter decided to put their message up and respond to. Signal became one of the top 10 most downloaded social apps on iOS yesterday for the first time, according to data from App Annie. The app often sees spikes in downloads during tumultuous political times. So they're saying this, the app they checked saw a spike in this, what do they call it? It's like a way to scramble your messages, Signal. And then he said, but the last time Signal downloads ranked nearly as high was on the day of President Trump's inauguration. And then he linked to an article from Vox that says protest apps Signal, Citizen, Twitter, Instagram. So they're pointing out that they were all getting on using Signal app to tear up DC during Trump's inauguration. And whenever that Signal app jumps, they're up to something. So the 17th letter responded and said, coordinated, ? Analyze downloads. Pre-protest riots. Start 60 protest riots. Coincidence? ? Now think fires. That's when they were talking about the California fires. So I know it sounds a little mundane that I'm going over this stuff, but hey, we know how they do it. We know it's coordinated. We know the government knows it's coordinated. So we gotta worry about what a lot of us are saying. There's not going to be an election, right? A lot of us are worried about that. A lot of people say they're going to do another lockdown, okay? They're talking about, who was it? X-22, or one of them was talking about Ebola. So all these things you have to keep in mind that something screwy might pop up, but be not afraid. Be prepared. We know they're going to try to rock the boat, and we know that the white hats can track their chatter, and there's really going to be no way they can communicate without us knowing something is up. That's basically what I'm trying to put. I don't want to agitate my listeners. I want to educate. I don't want to say, oh my gosh, something awful is going to happen, and don't turn your phone on October 4th, and whatever they come up with. I saw what was it? Not Newsmax. Newsmax is a halfway good outfit, but another one came out with another UFO whistleblower. Okay, that was today. And here it is. Bombshell testimony confirmed. The Hill. The Hill. They're a communist-leaning bunch. More UFO whistleblowers secretly confirm non-human biologics and recovered spacecraft. That was today. So be ready for any kind of kooky thing they're going to throw at us, but just stay level-headed, and I would avoid people that, in the long run, when I'm not dissing anybody, but when you leave their broadcast and you feel completely worn out, worried, distressed, confused, that's not good for you. Okay? Like I said, when Mr. T starts getting worried, I'll be worried. He's confident. He's firm in the right. I'm firm in the right. And that's the way to look at it, folks. What if the speaker is replaced? I don't think that's going to happen. I think that is that McCarthy is playing the role he's being told to play. And if he's going to drag out this impeachment inquiry and compel more evidence, just like this $200 and some thousand going straight to Joe Biden's address, we're not going to rescue the Democratic Party from a criminal, from having to deal with a criminal like Joe Biden. He's their problem. But Trump did say, he may be back sooner than we think. So, and we know the speakership is one path. Now, I know many of you saw that interview with Jan Halper Hayes. And here I go again with my little, she was dressed in orange. I'm not kidding you. It was a little bit darker orange than the other outfit she had on. But she discussed the fact that she was a group of 12, she was in a group of 12 people that were dealing with intel. And they would gather information and analysis and then pass it. If I remember correctly, she said she would pass it up to a higher group, okay? And we know the top group is less than 10 people, all right? And Mr. T's one of them. Those are the ones that know exactly what's going on. But she had a sign behind her, no uncertain terms, said drain the swamp. So you know where she's coming from. And she repeated that she did it conversationally. She said, I feel President Trump thinks that you can't tell people things, that they have to see it for themselves. You have to show them. So she sprinkled some extra words in there, but she exactly quoted the 17th letter. You can't tell people, you have to show them. So she said the midterms 2022, they were aware of the cheating. They were tracking who was doing what, and they were getting the low-hanging fruit. And she admits, I don't know. She said, I thought things were going to happen the 22nd or 2022. But she said, I was wrong. But she said, Trump passed or signed Executive Order 18348 that deals specifically with election fraud, okay, especially if they're working with foreign powers, and very, very harsh penalties. And she said the reason he did that is because he knew, and he was getting information from intelligence and Space Force. So again, a very informative interview, even though she admits, I don't know exactly what's going on, but I know the flow, I know the direction, I know the rhythm of what's going on. So I don't know if you all got to see that. I might get a clip of that and play it. But this business too of Trump calling out Fox News, he did it a couple of times. He put one post up there where he said it's not like we remember it used to be. It's not enjoyable anymore. It basically, being a little vulgar, he said it sucks. So we know the old man stepped down with Fox News after Trump challenged him about that poll. But then a report came out, the shareholders are suing Fox News. Add that to the pile of lawsuits I've discussed, where they have a fiduciary responsibility like Target. How many times has a shareholder started, and this is a new phenomenon. And I said a while back, man, I wish I was young again and coming up, because I would get a law degree and I would gear it towards suing these people who have committed torts, TORTS, against Americans, against patients, against companies, shareholders, all kinds of things. They're torts. And that's what I said I would focus on if I was back in my salad days, of what's coming. Because Fox News is getting sued for malfeasance or misfeasance or whatever they're going to do it for. Nike's getting sued. Anheuser-Busch's shareholders. They have a duty to the shareholders. Target, Nike, Anheuser-Busch, Fox News, Disney's subsidiaries, which they own a lot of companies. They own ABC News. And they're going to sell off ABC. They may have to sell off ABC News because they've got this deal with Hulu. They got to come up with cash between $25 and $40 billion. They have got to cough up sometime within, I don't know, the next 6 months. I'm not sure the exact date, but it's coming soon. And they don't have any cash. They have 100,000 real cash reserve. I mean, 100 million, 100 million real cash reserves. And they got to come up with 27 to 40, somewhere between that and 40 billion. So ABC News, that's what had the View all upset, all the hags on the View, because ABC is not doing well. And they're going to have to give that channel an enema and clean out all the bad stuff, if you get what I'm saying. And the View is going to be one of the ones on the chopper block. And I want to bring up, before I close out, I don't think I got a chance to bring this up. And we'll talk about it more in the future. I'm going to call it the God question. Okay? Trump was asked about God. But I'm not going to get into that night because I'm coming up on an hour and a half. I appreciate some people left in the comments for me that they wish the shows were a little longer. I do what I can. I really do. And whatever my streaming service will allow. Picture shows break down after about an hour. But anyway, since we were talking about the 17th letter, and a lot of people were asking about different things. Red October, right? They were asking about Godfather 3, right? Well, about a year ago, and then again a half a year ago, and then maybe a month, I think, or a month and a half ago, I mentioned where I was watching Godfather 3 and noticed a quote from one of the characters that said, "Blessed is the peacemaker." Okay? And if you look in the Bible, it says, "Blessed is the peacemaker, for he will be considered a child of God." And that's what the character said in the movie. Well, one of Trump's last speeches, he was talking about ending the war. Zelensky's making these noises. Well, tell us how to end it right now. Why wait till the election? And of course, Zelensky can go pound sand. But Trump said, he gave that exact quote, "Blessed is the peacemaker." So, for people that want 17 proofs without going cuckoo, without straining their mind or getting distressed, there you go. I mean, it's laying right there in front of us. And we know the UFOs, we know the diseases, we know fires, we know war, we know all these things. So it. Don't let it get the better of you. Be prepared. Forewarned is forearmed. And the world right now is a psyop. And you're on top of it. You're not being misinformed. You're being informed. You're not being agitated. You're being educated, right? We're all learning together how things are coming together. And it's going to be a march, folks, a march. So anyway, I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. I'll probably go live tonight. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I go live, so we can all get together again in the chats in the future. And I hope you had a good time this evening. Until next time, this is Mountain Man, over and out.